The U.S. government has given billions of dollars to businesses in an effort to curb the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The government will begin to pursue recouping these funds in 2021. Aggressive penalties will be imposed on companies that do not follow regulations and guidelines for proper use of these funds. Criminal charges are already being levied on fraudulent use. Don't suffer again. Get a customized business operations success suite from Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services for your company today. BOSS packages include entity formation, payroll, accounting and bookkeeping, tax planning, tax filings, and quarterly strategy sessions to minimize your tax liability, increase efficiency, and maximize your profits. Make your appointment today at elite8financial.com. Get the guidance, tools, and protection your business needs now. Get BOSS. Get behind the shield.
This is Dr. Tamia Guest with Rejuvenating Chiropractic.
This is Nara Reed with Modified Nutrition Health Coach.
This is Karen Marcel with June Street Barbershop.
This is Tiffany Marcel with Marcel Luxury Realty, and you're listening to Boss Talk Radio.
I paid the cost to be born.
Do you own a business, or are you thinking of starting one? Whatever you do, you need a great business idea to overcome the competition. Possibly some new cutting-edge technology. You need something that can grow your business exponentially. Something to blow your customers away and give them the highest quality. At Bully AI, we are experts in doing just that. With our user-friendly software, we create white-label technology for business. This helps your company expand and lowers your cost for marketing, sales, advertising, customer relations, and so much more. All this is done by AI-based software created by our team of AI bots, big data analytics, and a great website. And you know what? All of this is available on our website with subscription plans as low as $7 a month. So, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now.
Y'all know what time it is. Welcome to another episode of Boss Talk Radio. Let's do this first housekeeping part one. Share the video. Part two, you know what I do, so get your pen and paper because it's going to be a wealth of information. Some lessons and blessings is what we're always stressing. It's tax season, so be sure to go ahead and visit elite8financial.com and get your forms and everything uploaded. If you want to advertise on Boss Talk Radio, the address is right there on the screen. Email sales@talkbossradio.com. We're about to get into it.
Welcome to Boss Talk Radio, the #1 online business and entrepreneurial talk show, brought to you by Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services. Here's your host, the Texas tax expert, George Dandridge.
Let's see what it do. If you are tuning in on YouTube, drop your name. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you are watching on Facebook, give StreamYard permission to use your name so that when you leave a comment or a question for our guests, we can address you by name and get your questions answered. If you are watching a playback, put hashtag playback and let me know where you're tuning in from. Welcome to another episode of Boss Talk Radio. It is Friday, February 12th. We have an exciting lineup for you, and we want to start with something that has a real sense of urgency. I've watched this problem like for years, and I finally found somebody that can really get in, answer all the questions, and more importantly, get me and my constituency taken care of. So what that thing is that most people that want to go into business, they're always looking for that right time. They're like playing double dutch, like, is this the time? Is that the time or whatever? And one of the biggest things that hold them back is health insurance. Health insurance is more often than not prohibitively expensive. Even with Obama doing what he did, what we found after that was people that did get some coverage. You had certain physicians and everything that didn't accept certain coverages and stuff like that. We are probably one of the most expensive healthcare systems in the world, you know, and well, part of that is because we're some of the most unhealthiest people in the world. But even with that, a lot of people will stay on their jobs to protect themselves against catastrophic illnesses, things like that, to protect their kids, because trying to afford health insurance while trying to grow a business has been just something that's been unable to be accomplished when you're a startup. And we get into that question of, is the business undercapitalized, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, a lot of times when you start the business, not only are you wearing all the hats, you know, you're the custodian and the CFO and the CEO, and, you know, you're the secretary, you're everybody. Well, if you get sick before you build out a team and everything, business kind of comes to a halt. So that's one of the things you guys have to consider, is putting into place different systems or whatever to advance your business in the event of an illness. But we're going to take it one step further. Everybody, welcome to the show, Miss Iman Robertson. How you doing today?
Good. Thank you for having me.
So tell everybody what it is that you do.
Okay, so I'm a licensed health insurance advisor, particularly for small businesses and those that are self-employed. So I work with a private insurance company. I'm outside the marketplace.
And what's the benefit of people being able to get insurance outside of the marketplace? And what is the comparison pricing like?
So there's a huge difference between the marketplace and being a part of a private insurance carrier. First and foremost, the marketplace is crazy expensive. The deductibles are at least $8,000. So that means that you have to pay $8,000 before you can even utilize your benefits, before the insurance carrier will even pay for any of your services, medications, any of that. But when you're with a private insurance company, as far as mine, it's less expensive. We take healthy people outside that pool of the marketplace. The reason why, I'll back up. The reason why it's so expensive on the marketplace is because healthy and unhealthy people are being grouped together. So you have to pay more to cover the risk of those unhealthy people. So what my company does is we take those healthy individuals and we group them together to provide less expensive premiums.
And so one of the things that makes people staying with employers cheaper is the whole group rates and grouping people in together. But if I understood correctly, the plans that you offer really accommodate individuals, even if it's an employee or employer plan. Each person in that plan is able to have individual transportable insurance.
Exactly. Correct. So like you said, group benefits are great. People love group benefits because it helps the employer save money on what they're paying for the employees. And then it trickles down and helps the employees save money on their premiums. So my company, my plans, they are group type benefits, but with individual plans. So you're getting these less expensive group type benefits in premium, but they're individualized plans. So you're not in a group together.
And the transportable part is like really dope, because a lot of times people will stay on a job and endure things that they really don't want to, because they know if they leave, one, they don't have health coverages, and two, when they get to the next stop, they have to wait till like either 90 days or open enrollment and stuff like that. some people think that they've missed open enrollment. Well, technically they did back in November, but you guys have a second open enrollment coming up?
Yeah, actually, the Biden administration is having a federal open enrollment. So my plans, to go back to what you were saying, my plans are year-round open enrollment, so you don't have to wait till open enrollment to sign up for benefits. And like you were saying, yeah, when you leave a job, your insurance leaves at where it's at the job. You can't take it with you. But if you were to have a plan like mine, an individual plan, no matter what happens to your job situation, it goes with you. Your insurance goes with you no matter what. But starting Monday, February the 15th, there's a federal open enrollment it's all across of America. So this is the prime time to explore your options, see what else is out there besides the marketplace, because some people believe that the marketplace is their only option for benefits. A lot of people don't know that they have private insurance options. So that's where I come into play and, help people know that they do have other plans available to them.
One of the things I learned in the conversation you and I had prior to the show is that, like, a lot of people don't even understand the insurance that they do have, and then they get sick and they're like trying to mitigate what's in the network, what's not in the network, what's covered, what's not covered. Or let's be honest, when you're sick, you're just sick and you're looking for help, and then they get this demonstrative bill after the fact or what have you. So what I learned about what you do is that you're also a direct point of contact to walk people through understanding their coverages and everything. Tell us a little bit about your personal service.
Yeah, so I'm all of my clients' personal agent. So once you sign up for benefits, I would be your direct point of contact for customer service needs. But if we do need to call customer service, then I will help you to do that if it's out of my hands. Excuse me. So once you sign up or once you enroll into benefits, if you have any questions or concerns, you just come to me. You'll have my personal phone number. You can shoot me a text, you can call me, and we'll get the situation figured out. And to go back, I just want to touch on what you were saying when you're sick. Yes, I just want to touch on a few benefits of my plans. So let's say you were sick, or let's say something happens to you. I want to use that. Let's say something happens to you. Maybe you broke your arm or broke your leg and you can't go to work. You're self-employed. You can't go to work, right? If you broke your leg. So our plans have a hospital confinement benefit. So let's say you had to be admitted into the hospital because of this broken bone. We're going to pay you each day that you're in the hospital to try to offset any type of bills that you may accrue while being in the hospital as a self-employed person, or maybe you're just by yourself and you can't go to work for 2 weeks. Well, we're going to pay you for those 2 weeks that you're in the hospital.
Wow.
Yes, it's great. It's great. So we have a lot of benefits that it's not just insurance, right? So typically you go on the marketplace, you pick a plan, you put in your debit information, that's it. That's it. And if you have any questions or concerns, you have to call the 1-800 number on the back, right? But with my plans, it's not like that. You get supplemental coverage on top of the medical coverage to help you not have to pay out of your pocket. And then I'm your direct point of contact on top of that.
That is awesome. A few years back when I decided that I was completely unemployable and I started to look for insurance, a lot of what I came across were these indemnity type plans or what have you. And they were like, the rates were reasonable because it was part of this group thing, but the benefits, not so much.
Yes.
And you guys are real insurance, but then you also have, not for endorsement, but for recognition, you guys also have kind of like the equivalent of an AFLAC component.
Exactly. Yes, that's what we compare it to. For us, it's called the association. But for reference, yes, it is similar to the AFLAC type benefit. And that is just to help offset any type of outside expenses you may have. And then on top of that, we don't have a yearly deductible. So your benefits are yours up front. You don't have to pay, like on the marketplace, the $8,000 just to have access to benefits. I want people to think about that. You're paying, let's say, $300 per month to have an $8,000 deductible. So you're basically paying to not have insurance until you pay the $8,000 deductible. You're paying to not have insurance, but insurance to some people is just this abstract, confusing subject, So most people just go in the marketplace, they pick a plan and go with it, but it doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to pay a deductible. You have plans available to you that have no deductible.
So for our typical audience, which is small business owners, that may have, say, 5 to 20 employees, you're able to have the employer pay a part of the benefits if they choose to, or elect how much they will pay for their employees, is to attract and retain better quality employees. But when that employee leave, it's still technically an individual plan, so it's transportable with them. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. So if the small business chooses to pay a portion of their employees' benefits, then it will deduct out of the business account. The premium will deduct out of the business account, and then they can choose the percentage that they want to deduct from the employees' paychecks. That's how that would be done. And then there's no participation minimum. So most of the time, when you offer benefits to your employees, it'll say at least 30% of your employees have to have benefits, or at least 50% of your full-time employees have to have benefits. Well, with my plans, how many of your employees would like to enroll in benefits? That's completely fine. If there's only one that wants to enroll, that's totally fine. And if they choose to sever their relationship with your business, then they can take their insurance with them. And then at that point, they'll be able to pay for it themselves.
That is amazing. And guys, by the way, if you're trying to figure out, well, how can I get that worked out through payroll and everything, not only is Iman directly available to you, you can reach out to us at Elite 8. We also work on payroll, and we can help put that together for you, work directly with her to make sure that it's all set up within your payroll system and you have kind of a worry-free exchange. We have her information on the screen if you're listening on any of the popular podcast playbacks, whether it's Google, iHeart, Spotify, and all the rest of them. We're on about 15 podcast players. That number is 737-262-3602. Or you can send her an email at Iman, that's IMAN, .Robertson, ROBERTSON, at USH Advisors, ADVISORS.com. You can also tag her on Facebook, facebook.com/health coverage made easy. And I don't think it gets much easier and much affordable than this. We're working with her ourselves to expand our health coverage and attract some better quality employees. Again, that number is 737-262-3602. Or you can email her at iman.robertson@ushadvisors.com. And you can tag her on Facebook, very responsive, facebook.com/health coverage made easy. Thank you for dropping in, Iman. We'll be in touch with you soon. Loved having you. And we're going to have you back during the next enrollment. But once again, everybody, there's a special enrollment that begins on Monday, February 15th.
Yep, February
Correct.
15th, Monday. Yep.
And half of you are off for the fake holiday, so it's a great time to reach out to Iman. Iman, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful weekend and a great holiday. You're watching Boss Talk Radio. We're always bringing you the value, bringing you the information. Hope you guys were able to enjoy the earlier segments this week. Boss Motivation, Boss Term of the Week, 5 Minutes of Fire. Of course, we always go there with that. And then my favorite one, the tax tips. And we'll be right back right after this. We're going to bring in Dr. O to talk about intrinsic wealth value. She's going to get y'all mind right today. So step one, get your toilet paper for those that may need to wipe your tears or wipe your butt, whichever one it is, because she's unapologetic about what she did. She's going to bring it to you. And we'll be back right after this.
We could not continue to do our filing of our taxes in the traditional sense that we've been doing for so many years. So we opted to go ahead and take the advice from one of our friends that went ahead and referred us. And since he referred us, we said, we decided let's go ahead and check Elite 8 out, and we're glad we did. They were extremely very thorough, so that's part of the excitement that we really enjoyed with Elite 8. So some of the parts of the values that we really enjoyed was that they were, beyond the fact that they were trustworthy, very thorough, extremely responsive, and the fact that we could do things online just the same that we were able to do in the traditional sense.
Get behind the shelf.
Finding your brand space in this ever-changing economy can be challenging to new and established businesses. Graphic Line Media can help launch your business's brand potential to unknown places with creative revisioning that relentlessly presses the competition. From graphic design, web, print, apparel, media, and social, we have something designed to grow your business. Don't hesitate. Rule your space. Visit Graphic Line Media at graphiclinemedia.com or join our Facebook page at Graphic Line Media to get special discounts and offers.
This is Dr. Tamia Guest with Rejuvenating Chiropractic.
This is Nara Reed with Modified Nutrition Health Coach.
This is Karen Marcel with June Street Barbershop.
This is Tiffany Marcel with Marcel Luxury Realty, and you're listening to Boss Talk Radio.
I've paid the cost to be born.
She impacts lives all around the country. She sits on more boards than Parker Brothers. Welcome to the show, Dr. O. How you doing today? Let's see if we can't hear you, Doc.
Can you hear me now? I had it on mute. Okay, there we are. I'm Wealthy, Wellthy. Thank you for asking.
And that's where it starts. You have to start with the proclamation on that thing. So, first of all, it's such an honor to have you on the show. I've been following you now for about 6 or 7 years. You unknowingly served as daily motivation. So, for those that don't know, tell them about yourself.
Well, my name is Dr. O. That's Omai Kofi. I'm in Dallas, Texas. I'm the founder and president of the Board of Literacy. We're a FinLit foundation, and our whole role is to advance the financial quotient of our youth. We service the worst zip code ever, according to statistics, with the highest levels of incarceration, the highest levels of STDs, the highest levels of juvenile detention, which is 75216 here in the DFW area, which is what they call Oak Cliff, Texas. And we've been doing that for a while now and partnering up with some wonderful people, South Oak Cliff High School, Lyles Middle School, so many other, Trinity, it's an organization that's based downtown. They're like a 100-year organization, and just other people like OMI and so many different other organizations have teamed up with us to help people understand that financial literacy is at the core of our economic structure as far as growth process. So that's what we do. That's what I do. But other than that, I'm just 100% an investor, all things investing. People are like, what do you invest in? Whatever's going to give me a return. Okay. Whatever's going to make me my own bank. That's what I invest in.
And that's a very, very popular, it's like trendy right now in our community for the first time. I'm here for it. I enjoy that paradigm switch on the conversation, but I have some concerns.
What's the concern?
First concern is I don't believe that people are going about it the right way. They're not doing their due diligence and things of that nature. And the mindset seems to be kind of a get rich quick type of thing. And then the other part is I feel like they're missing some key components that you should have in place before you start investing. Now, me, myself, I do a little investing, but I still look at it like gambling. So I'm real careful with mine. I'm slow to pull the trigger. You're a serial investor. Like that's what you do. What are some of the things that people need to have in place already in their personal life before they decide to allocate any disposable income to investing?
Well, it's case by case, obviously, but honestly, I just tell people whether you have pennies or dollars or millions or billions, you need to invest. So I think when people approach investing, I think you said it correctly, DD, right? Doing your due diligence, knowing what you're investing in. Anything that you invest in, you need to know what you own. That's a saying out there in the stock world. You also need to understand the difference between gambling and the difference between investing, the difference between trading, the difference between, you know, the levels of what it is. So you said disposable income. So that's the number one key to you. Whatever you put in the market, expect to lose it. I'm down about $40,000 right now. So is that going to hurt me, or is that going to be like, okay, I knew what I was getting myself into? And so the way that you safeguard yourself, especially when the market is red, or we call it bloody market, when it's red out there, that's just the market. We're not talking about crypto. I'm not talking about Forex. I'm just talking about stocks alone, right? So I'm down about $40,000 right now in the entire stock market. And so someone would say, oh my God, get out or you're losing. And it's like, no, Warren Buffett teaches us our hold time is forever. That's investments. Investments are forever. A gamble is when you try to get in and get out at a profit, or you want to get in and get out higher than you entered. That's a gamble. Investments are a little different. In the sense of our whole time is forever. We own this thing until whenever, because we utilize it as leverage. That's what investment does for you. Investing allows you to leverage, right? Wealth allows you to leverage. Riches come and go. They're fast, quick, and in a hurry. So I would tell people to have their mindset in place. That's the number one thing you can have in order before you get out here playing around. And you do that through educating yourself through terminology, educating yourself about connotations and things of that nature. Because if you don't know what it is you're doing, you're going to lose. But we count our losses as lessons, and that's what helps us grow.
Awesome. And I think that like really clears the slate for a lot of people. And one of the things, I was watching you, I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago, and you had one of your spare time moments. I think you were waiting at a dealership or something, and you did a live. And you talked about something that at that moment I was like, yeah, we got to get her on to really start to talk about this paradigm. There's we tend to, it seems like we live in this society where everybody feels that first and foremost an entitlement, like they've done nothing but they're entitled to everything. That's the first part. And then the second thing is everybody thinks they want wealth without a true understanding of what wealth is, but most importantly, don't really want to put in the work. So what I want, and the thing you were talking about at that point in time was reciprocity. And I was like, oh my God, yes, let's preach. I looked for the collection plate a couple times on that one. You were going to church on that one. And, I think that wealth first lies in service. And we live in this very selfish, all about me place. So if you would, can you bless the congregation with the mentality and the intrinsic things that need to contribute to a wealth mindset before you ever see any riches?
Yeah, I mean, I love where you're headed. I mean, I know you felt what I was saying because you've experienced what I'm saying. So for Black businesses especially, it's very key that whenever I send you a referral, you run me a check. It may not be a paper check. It may not be a paycheck. It may not be financial check, but you better run me a check, period. If I'm helping your business, because you know good and well, we sit up here and we complain, especially as African Americans, that we don't have what we need. We need our reparations. Nobody cares about us. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us, right? So we're always singing and chanting this story. No one supports my business. No one's helping me. You like all these celebrities, but you won't help the Black business. We got to beg for what we need and all this other stuff. But if I send you a referral, you run me some money. It's really that simple. You run me a relationship. You run me a referral. You run me credit or something. Do something positive to show good faith. Because in the world of trading, that means that you get something for exchange of my something. And I believe that starting right there when it comes to reciprocity is what's missing. I don't know how many people that I've referred business to or I've promoted or helped, and they never said so much as thank you. It's strange to me, but it's normal. And it goes back to what you said. People are basically being selfish. They are concerned with getting ahead for themselves or maybe even their small sector of people, but they're not looking at the global impact of what we have right here where we are right now. So if you live in a shack, if you live in a mansion, which we know is a little expensive right now, so you can brag about that all you want, you got to pay those bills later. But the whole point that I'm making is that no matter what lifestyle, whatever social economic standpoint that you're in that moment, you owe it to yourself and to others to determine your level of reciprocity. And so in that, I just feel like people get a little past themselves because they want control. And those who want control typically lose control. And they lose control in themselves. They have identity crisis, imposter syndrome. And what they don't understand is the value of relationships. They're talking about making money, but the way to do that is through relationships. And one story that I like to utilize, a young lady that I've been working with for about 16 years, she met a young lady who is a part of the Fearless Fund, which gives women, Black women, women of color, money basically to do their projects or their business. And so I think they just got like $1 million injection from some big name. I'm not trying to do an advertisement, but they got a $1 million injection from a very big name, and they're distributing that money out to other people. Well, that's now, but rewind the time 8 years ago, that particular young lady didn't have any money, but she had relationships. So she knew she wanted to help out her sister, but she didn't have the money. So all she did was bring relationships to the table worth $250,000 is what was distributed to that young lady for her wanting to help someone and partner with someone. And right now at this moment, now they're able to work together. And that didn't take money, that took relationships. So I just tell people that reciprocity is as good as a relationship. And we become more relationship based, we'll stop being so selfish, in my opinion, and we'll also become more wealthier through those relationship transactions. I don't know any of the billionaires and millionaires, multimillionaires that I work with that don't have really good relationships. And I find that that's exactly how people gain and obtain wealth, but they're also very big on reciprocity, and they don't have to ask for it. They just know that that comes with the giving, that comes with the trade, if that makes sense.
And this is something that I've been on kind of a hell-bent mission preaching since I've learned it, because I know personally that real young in business in my early 20s and what have you, I did not value relationships. The reciprocity was there, but my interest in people, I'm the biggest introvert ever, but my interest in exchange with people was always whatever we were working on at the time, that was it. I didn't call and check on people after that. I didn't do stay in touch. We're here, let's get this money and keep it moving. And it wasn't until I really started to value relationships, and it was kind of based on a couple of books that I read that really just created the paradigm shift, where I started to nurture the relationships and things grew. But then further down the line, I realized, and this is the craziest thing, because while I am an introvert, I have this ability to connect people more than anything else. And I don't look for anything in those connections. One of my favorite documentaries of recent time is The Black Godfather. I don't know if you had an opportunity to see it.
I haven't seen it, but I know exactly who he is.
Man, it was like, wow, I identified with him. It's like, yeah, I'm not on this level, but just the whole, hey, you know, like some people enjoy positional power.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not real power at all. What I consider power is this ability that I have to call somebody in Hawaii, Florida, Philly, New Orleans, and just have them take care of somebody else they don't even know, based on the fact that I made the call. That's power, you know. And because people know that, hey, well, if George is calling, this is something that's a real need. George don't call for no foolishness, you know. So yeah, relationships is a very big thing. What are some of the other factors that you think a person should have intrinsically or about their mindset before they can obtain wealth?
Well, there's a couple of things, and I did want to make a mention about introverts. So my sister is very introverted. My son is very introverted. And I have some introverted tendencies, obviously. I'm extroverted as far as my personality, but my mindset is very introverted. So I did want to give a tip to all introverts. All you have to do is hire you an extrovert that likes to run their mouth and partner with them and let them do all the work. And that's been very, very powerful, actually, partnership. So but to your question, something that I found very valuable and that helps us with this whole process when we talk about mindset, stop lying. Literally just stop lying altogether. Stop lying for people. Stop lying on yourself. Stop the whole level of deception. Stop letting people lie to you. When you feel like, hey, that doesn't sound right, say that. Say that. You might not have to say it verbally, but you can say it to yourself that something's off here. Say it out loud. Speak it out loud. Even if you're not speaking to that person, or if you do have sensibility, emotional intelligence enough to say that to somebody's face without a fight, tell them, you know, I don't think that that's true. I'd like to discuss that a little deeper so I can find out your truth and my truth in that, right? You don't have to be, you're a liar, but confront some stuff. There's a lot of people that have messed up mindsets because they didn't confront something. And you know how you're in something and you're like, dang, I wish I would have said this. And you go home and you're like, man, I should have said that. You know, that kind of behavior right there means that you've impacted your life with lies. The truth does not hurt us. It's all the lies along the way that hurt you. And so being honest and truthful, being candid and transparent and vulnerable, even if it's not in the midst of everybody else, because everyone doesn't deserve your vulnerability or your transparency or your truth for that matter, but you do. So you need to start being honest. The little lies catch up with you, the little fabrications. I'm sick, I'm calling in today. All that starts to add up. Come on, George. It all starts to add up. You say, oh, you know, can I get $5 from you? Oh, I ain't got it. And you do got it. Just say, no, I don't want to give it to you, because no is a complete sentence. No is a complete phrase and a complete book. You can write the title no on a book and sell it because people need that word. So the key is that stop lying. If someone like, come see me, I'm busy, I can't come see you. This is what I can do though. I can come see you in February, or I can come see you in March next year. But right now, this ain't the time for me to come see you. Start being a little bit more honest, and that'll start breaking the barriers of your mind. Stop telling lies and stop accepting lies are two mindset hacks that you can utilize to really, really develop a system that's going to pull wealth and pull abundance to you just by being honest. Does that help, George?
Yes. And the first part, the very first, stop lying to your damn self. There's no benefit in lying to yourself. I think
you're putting yourself in a trance. Every time you speak, it's spelling, right? And they call it casting spells. Every time you're speaking words and you're utilizing energy, like George's energy is amazing. A lot of that comes from him being introverted, but he watches and observes and he applies. That's what I like about introverts. They apply. They don't say much. They don't want to do much as far as connection wise, but when it comes to impact, they got that thing like this. And so we are always looking at energy. And so if you're expending energy on lies to yourself, you're actually asking for more lies to come to yourself.
Now, for those that are listening to the playback, because they can't see the expressions here, I want to make something clear. There's a difference between lying to yourself and speaking in manifestation. So let's have a clear separation there. So people are like, well, I'm lying to myself saying I'm a millionaire. Well, no, there's a little bit of a difference, but you can't profess that and then don't do the work, because then you are lying to yourself.
That's exactly.
So we have relationships, and then we have, hey, stop lying. Next on that, and the stop lying part goes along with integrity, because I think Michael Jackson said, be careful what you do, because a lie becomes the truth. Well, here's the thing. Until it all starts to break down, that house of cards just starts to fall apart. And, you were talking about these truths with the introverts. Because of our observing, I get charged with being petty when I tell certain truths, because I say them unapologetically. But like one of them was exactly 1 year ago. Oh man, everybody was balling out of control. Everybody was wealthy. And then 1 month from now, a year ago, everybody was talking about, I need my stimulus check. Wait a minute, that don't go together. You was rich last month. What happened? And so the line for the gram, as they call it, but and hey, like you said on that live, these people don't even like you. You don't have
they don't even like you.
So after the part where you stop lying to yourself, and you have the integrity to just do what needs to be done on a regular basis, what's the next part?
Taking action. One of my billionaire clients' friends, he wrote a book called Action Has No Season, and it teaches you how to become an actionaire. And I'm actually going to be doing on Clubhouse, we do the power shift, and I'm going to be doing one to help people get over this XYZ syndrome. If I had a mentor, if I had money, I need a mentor. I didn't have nobody to teach me. I didn't have nobody to tell me. Nobody taught me. No one was there for me. I don't have this. I don't have that. And I don't have XYZ. And no one said XY. And this XYZ syndrome and this perpetuatory story that you continue to perpetuate over and over and over. And you just put these spells and curses all over yourself. We've got to break that, right? And the way that you do that is through action. It could be sizable action. It could be tiny baby steps. It could be inches. It could be big. It could be small. I don't care. It needs to be action on top of action on top of action. And so we're going to have the power shift. It's called chain reaction wealth. And the only way you're going to get to that chain reaction wealth is to start somewhere in that wealth process. I like what George said. Hey, I'm not going to throw the books at the market right now or anywhere. I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm going to invest at my level. I'm going to invest my disposable income. That's my strategy. That's George's strategy. You've got to come up with your action plan and your action strategy. Listen, the Rothschilds and the Bilderbergs and the daggum Rockefellers, they have 100-year wealth plan, and included in that wealth plan is an action item that this family will not be working for money. So we're going to pay for our family to live on this earth without ever having to work. And so the regular monthly paychecks and homes and land or whatever wealth tools that we're going to use, they're already paid for because we have a 100-year wealth plan. And if you're not there, you can start a 1-day wealth plan, a 1-hour wealth plan. You can start to take a 1-minute wealth plan. Everybody knows me for Do You Have a Minute? Because I started with 60 seconds. What can I get done in 60 seconds? So I can stop lying to myself. Oh my God, it's too much. Take 60 seconds and just think for a hot second. Leave the phone alone. Get off social media. Stop talking. Just vibe with yourself for 60 seconds. And when you're ready, you'll do it in 17 seconds like another gentleman named Robert Zink. But I said all that to say that action has no season. That's a great book. It gets you to the action. But even without the book and a mentor and a person, Dr. O and George, you yourself know you need to be doing something. At all. You know that much. So as you start to work towards actions, that mentorship and all that stuff you've been missing out on in life will start to fall into place because you're moving towards a direction that's going to get you to your next place to start that chain reaction wealth. So that's what I would tell people to do. Take action and stop worrying about lack and what you don't have. Start with your haves. So if you have a banana, start with a banana. You don't need a whole banana field. Start with what you have, because a lot of people will talk you to death, lie to you to death about what they don't have and what didn't happen and all this trauma. And instead of you, and the only way that even in rehab that a therapist or anybody can get you to your next level is you got to take action. There's nothing else after it. There's nothing else before it. It is its own entity. So try it for a change. Change reaction or a chain reaction is all up to you. So that's what I would tell people to do.
Yeah, hey, that's one that, I don't think there's a Monday that comes about where I'm not delivering that in some form or fashion, because being self-actualized is the greatest perpetuous energy that you can have. There's so many books that say so many things, and that's all it's really saying. Whether it's The Secret, Start Where You Are, whatever it is, it's like, hey, just start. And the amazing thing is, you said, hey, if you have a banana, start with a banana. The thing is, everybody has something, but for some reason, we asphyxiate in our minds what we want this thing to look like. And rather than accept that, okay, what you want it to look like is an eventual outcome, but if you wait until all the sun, the stars, and the moons line up to start that, it'll never happen.
Because you know what, George, what you just spoke is that externalization. And this is where introverts or internal people or people that learn how to go introspectively, this is why they have so much I won't say stability, because they have different things they're working on as well. But what I will say is that all this external living, external lifestyle, that's why you don't see me caped in makeup right now. I was dressed like this before 1 o'clock. This is what I'm wearing at 1 o'clock. This is what I'm going to wear at 2 o'clock. This is just me today. Doesn't mean this is not me every day. If you want to look at what I look like, go through my pictures and my videos. I could care less about what other people think about me. Obviously, I'm going to represent because you invited me to this wonderful platform. So I'm not going to be looking like a who from Whoville. But what I am going to do is stop external living for a minute. It doesn't mean that I love your look. I like your appearance. I like the way you carry yourself, and your swagger and your stilo is masculine and it's nice, and you got the hat on and all that. So obviously there's some intention, but at the end of the day, there's something inside of you that's greater than whatever you see on the outside. And so many people are caught up in externalizations that they never even get to the core of who they really are. They don't even know who they are, but self-actualization and taking steps towards awareness is so important. But a lot of people they have so many things in the way and so many dreams and hopes and wishes and all this other crazy stuff that you never just take that one moment to look at your actual, even if it's negative, just look at it for a hot second. Stop wanting, start willing. And you have to will. You have to will. And that's how you're a boss. Let's get it.
Hey,
I just helped y'all out. Y'all are fine. Show is over. Let's go.
That one was on the money. There's this other thing that I tell people, and I get beat up from it, but I can, take it. I'm 6'4" and 300 pounds. I can take a little bruise or whatever. But here's what
you can take a lot of bruising with that.
Here's what I tell people. There's, you mentioned the people that are talking about, well, I don't have a mentor. Well, I don't have this investment. Well, I don't have this or that. And we're saying start where you are. But there's another part to this that I think just eliminates all excuses, which is...
Help me with that, please. Even me needs to hear that. Go for it, George.
And it's a two-part equation. And it's not to eliminate any other truths, but this is undisputable. One, everybody has 24 hours in the day, and you have the choice with it to what to do with it. Now, unlike 30 years ago, where things such as systemic racism and access and things of that nature was like a powerful force, you have the internet. We're in the information age, and everybody's walking around with these $1,500 paperweights and accessing it for everything other than quality information to get you from A to B. And information is the new currency, so much so that people are giving away services. Major corporations are giving away products and services in exchange for your information so they can sell it on the back end.
Yeah.
So
to become billionaires. You're worth billions.
Yeah. People don't realize that.
You're literally, each individual is literally worth billions. Literally. Like, I'm not making it up. I'm not trying to make people feel good at all. Like, you're literally a billionaire walking. That's how powerful you are. They know it, but you don't use it. So that's what happens.
How can we get people over that mental hump? What has to be said to just take the blinders off?
Well, I mean, this platform, I mean, you, us, it's all of us, just like there's a pandemic or an epidemic, it's just, again, a chain reaction. And so people have to want it. If you don't have an appetite, George, for Thai food, or you don't have an appetite for apples, you're not going to eat apples. So I can't force feed you something that you don't have an appetite for. So we've got to create an appetite system to where we build your appetite for it. Babies don't have an appetite for meat. They have an appetite for milk. Most of us really don't eat meat like that. Someone gave us meat and we began to identify with it, and then we desired it, and now we want it. Some of us gotten over it and we changed our diet and all that fun stuff, but wealth is a part of your diet plan. That's a whole word right there. Wealth is definitely a part of your diet plan. It's a part of your...
We're not going to just blow past that like you didn't say it.
Wealth is a part of your diet plan. It really is. Wealth is it's a decision that you make on a continual basis. Just like you feed your body, you feed your wealth system. And so we've got to get people to acknowledge that. Wealth is definitely a part of not only just your diet plan, but your conversation. So this is normal for George and I to speak like this. We've never spoken, but this is how we talk now. And when we speak, that's just what we talk about. You can incorporate this and make a decision on your wealth every single day. And it's really up to you to take that change the narrative so we can rewire our desires. And once we start rewiring our desires, I think there's like a meme going around that says, the level someone's at by the stuff that they're impressed by. And so you start to look at those impressions. What's making impressions in your life? You've got this, hold on. There's a phone that I'm watching, and I got all this because I'm doing the market right now. This is $700. This is $700. The phone in front of me is $700. I got 3 more laying around here. So we add all that up and we look at the price point of that. Well, this one's making me money while we're on here. All these pings is money. This one's making me crypto. I put my stuff to work. Now that's my mindset. That's my appetite. I like that kind of stuff. Find yours. Maybe yours is sending out passages to people. Maybe yours is sending out quotes. Maybe you're sending out, I don't know, food to people. I don't know what you've got to find your wealth diet, and you have to start right there and start picking up on other people. You don't have to cut, copy, and paste. You don't have to cheat and steal and kill. But what you can do is start to identify. And we don't have a wealth identity. We don't have a wealth identity. And I believe that you people like yourself, and I believe our men, and let me be very clear when I say our, I'm talking about Black men, okay? And that is no offense to other brothers.
Get the collection plate.
Hey, listen, it's not about the other brothers and sisters from other mothers. They're doing their thing. I'm talking about Black men. You all have the power to change the tide in the narrative because you're the seed provider, and women have the power to change the tide in the actual story. Y'all change the narrative, we change the story, and we keep repeating that behavior. We're going to be fine. It feels like we're behind the curve, but we're like light years ahead of time. We're so far ahead, it feels like we're backwards. Believe that. And I don't even know how to express that enough yet, but through what he said earlier, self-actualization. And when it came into my mind that you're ahead of the game, I stopped running a race that I've already run. Stop it. I stopped running a race that I've already won. Now, it doesn't mean that I'll have to go back and see how I won the race and develop my skill set on the next race. It's just that we won the wealth race. We won it already. Now you've got to find out why you won. And that's why people have so much difficulty, because they don't want to get to their why.
We talk about the why all the time. I hate when people offer their seed as their why, and I immediately, and I get the charge again for being petty, I immediately prove them they're lying because, well, I do this for my kids. I'll do anything for my kids. You don't have life insurance. You're lying.
If you do not have life insurance, especially as a wealth person and a Black person specifically, you're a total lie. So yeah, that's not. But George, one thing that you said that I wanted to make mention of that you're doing that's different is that you keep saying petty. And every billionaire, every single billionaire in my phone that I know, that I've ran across, that I've talked to, that I've passed by, every last one of them are what we call petty.
And I take that as being polite because I used to be called much worse.
But pettiness or getting to the least common denominator so we can stop the fluffionaire attitudes and the fluffionaire.
Wait,
come on, there's millionaires out there, $30,000 millionaires, right? So when you pedify something and you basically bring it down so we can build it up. So pettiness would only be if you stayed that way. What you're talking about is no, let's just get to the truth so we can build on top of it. So, because if you build on a lie, we don't know what's going to happen. But when you build on the truth, we at minimum know that upgrades are going to happen from there. So you say that, but I just wanted to tell you that every last one of the billionaires that I know, they're petty. Just FYI, since you asked.
And if y'all don't know, y'all better know. I'm about to take that and run with it. Every time y'all give me that charge, I'm gonna take it and run with it. So we have the integrity part, stop lying. We have the relationships. We're starting with the relationships, avoiding being the fluffionaire. And you talk about that a lot. You talk about just really cutting to the chasing, really getting to what's at the bones and the marrow of anything. You talk about that all the time. But a lot of people don't know how well read and how deeply rooted you are. So I was watching you on one episode and you were talking about the connection to the sun. And I was just like, wow. And what was interesting was this was at the top of Black History Month. And I was like, this 15-minute segment was so much more than every year I spent in school with Black History Month. And you made it just make sense on such a very basic level. And would you please bless us with it right now?
I sure will. It'll be my honor. So I got this information about who I am because we struggle, a lot of us struggle with an identity crisis, especially being Black in America, right? Or being a person of color in America, which, by the way, by the year 2050, 90% of elementary students will be children of color. So as you're seeing these developments of the vice president being female and Native American, or excuse me, not even Native American, I apologize. She's actually Asian. And then also she's basically African, right? So we're seeing these shifts in tides and this power shift where, first time CEO and first black this and first black that. That's not true, right? So I wanted to talk about, like, how do I identify? Because I'm tired of reading these things on these applications. I have to check off if I'm female, if I'm black, if I'm this, if I want to. And then all this identification things. And God just told me, I need you to do me a huge favor. And I said, what is that? God said, look at yourself. I'm like, okay, I'm a woman, blah, blah, blah. God said, no, really look at yourself. What do you identify with in our solar system? I'm like, I don't know. The darkness of the sky because I'm dark. I mean, I don't know. And God was like, what helps you to see yourself? And I was like, well, the sun. Well, what provides life? The sun. Well, what gives you your melanin? The sun. We are directly correlated and related and connected to the sun. And what I notice, a lot of people that experience depression or downtime, or they're feeling down, they're feeling low. Well, that's because their oxytocin and serotonin levels are not as high as they need to be. Well, where do you get that from? What makes your vitamin D come out? What they say Black people have a vitamin D deficiency. Well, the one thing that'll help you if you're feeling low is to get into the sun. And the sun will actually start to help. It has healing properties in it. And so I found out that we're relatives of the sun, and we're walking around here like we don't know who we are or whose we are. And that's the one thing that I could grab onto that had nothing to do with man, that has nothing to do with humans, has nothing to do with even me by myself. It's a solar process. So God said, do you want to deal with the solar system or the economic system? I was like, I think I want to deal with the solar system because it's going to bring me more power, more presence, more energy than anything else. And so I just really was talking about the details of our relative system. What are we related to? How do we actually live on this earth that we live in? We're third rock from the sun, right? And so Black people, we are basically truly related. There's gold and precious metals in our body. All that stuff came from the sun. And our solar system has access to what? The sun. And so that's what we're related to. And so I love it. And even in the Bible, people want to go there. There are times where you'll see capital S-U-N. There's a reason for that. It's not a typo. Just if somebody needs to go back to something, just research it for yourself.
Amen. Y'all passed the collection plate. And I really wanted everybody to get that because we have basically a secondary pandemic when it comes to the mental health and depression stuff, but we have a generation now of, like, you don't tell a kid they can't go outside anymore. That's not a punishment. Like, if you tell them to go outside, they're like, what the hell? Outside? What's that? Like, what are we supposed to do out there? And my heart just bleeds with joy every time I see little kids outside playing or riding a bike or whatever. It's like, wow, look, it's almost like a rare sighting, and I think people really need to really understand that and get back to that place. So one of the things I wanted to ask you about, because in a general conversation, no one will ever know this. It requires them to read your bio or see you on stage or something like that. But you are connected to some of the most prominent people in the world, not just the country, but in the entire world. You have an ecosystem that is phenomenal, that always pour back into you, and you're always like, it is almost like you make an extra effort not to ever name drop because you're connected to so many people in a common conversation. A name can just come out, but you're conscious to never name drop. But here's what I want people to get the parallel to on this, if I'm bringing this across right. Despite all of that, there's no obligation, there's no benefit to Dr. O to do the amount of service that you do to, like, there's not a time someone's going to talk to you and be confused about not only you being pro-Black, but there's not, like, nobody can come walk in the room into you and start, well, Black men, this Black men. You like, whoa, hold up. That's what we ain't gonna do. Like, you don't even
way better.
You know? And my question is, how does Dr. O refill that cup that she's constantly pouring from? And is that almost pass-through cup the reason for your success?
It is 100%, 1,000%. You hit the hammer on the nail. I have a lot of cups. I have a lot of cups because I have a lot of relationships with the right people. And even when they seemed or were actually wrong relationships, they turned out for the good, the greater good of me. So I have to admit, yes, I know tons of celebrities, tons of, name brand people, global figures, presidents of countries and nations and all of that fun stuff. But at the end of the day, I know myself. And I know what I bring to the table. I know who I am in the story. Back in the day, we'd watch He-Man or She-Ra, we'd watch cartoons, and we'd be like, oh my God, that's me. I'm so-and-so. I'm She-Ra. I'm this. I'm Wonder Woman. We would watch these things and put ourselves in the story. We would identify. We would self-identify through an actualization we had about ourselves. And I know there's a scripture in the Bible, John chapter 10 and 34, it says, are you not God? Like, what's wrong with you people? Jesus, like, aren't you God yourselves? What's wrong with y'all? But in that, I started to identify with these people in a very unique way to find out that who's the teacher to the teacher, who's the leader to the leader, who's the president to the presidents, who's helping these people. They're losing themselves in all this greatness that they have, these billions of dollars and multi-billion-dollar corporations, trillion-dollar corporations. Who's checking on them? Did you eat today? Are you okay? Hey, how are you feeling? A lot of people were not checking on their wellness. That's why I say I'm wealthy, W-E-L-L-T-H-Y. These people are wealthy, W-E-A, the E-A kind. I'm talking about the E-L-L-T-H-Y. They're wealthy and I'm wealthy. So I started to bring my wealth to their wealth and AKA match up, right? And they were like, dang, nobody's ever asked me how I'm doing. Nobody's called to check on my children. People don't call and ask me how I'm feeling. Do I feel like committing suicide? Am I happy today? They just assume that because I have money, I'm fine. I'm not fine. Matter of fact, I want to break down right now and they can take all this money from me. I need hope, inspiration, care, concern. So I started finding a need, feeling a need type mentality. It happened to be with people of stature. They connected me to people of stature and it just kind of went in a change reaction wealth, right? It just began to build from there. But yeah, that fills my cup because I'm fulfilling my purpose. I'm here for a purpose of wealth. I execute that purpose every day, not only in my life, but in thousands of millions of lives all around the world. And I do that by being me. Oh my God, that's a word. I feel like crying, George. I just do it by being me. And how I found that purpose was inside of my poverty, with welfare, with food stamps, okay, with Medicaid, with homelessness. I discovered that about me because I knew that was a lie. The system is a lie. The situation, circumstance were lies. That was not my truth, but that was my circumstance and situation. And I handled it like a champion. And I was proud of myself, even when I was on welfare. So why wouldn't I be proud of myself when I'm in wealth? And I started taking that energy to other people and they vibed with it. And here you go. I'm here with the wealthy George now. Now I'm here with George. George saw the light. George was like, I want that too. And it's really about your energy. And even when I'm quiet or I'm not too happy, people can still feel my energy because I allow them to pull from my energy in that regard, in the best regard, the highest regard. And when I don't want to share my energy, you better believe I go in hiding. George knows what that's like.
Somebody mentioned something on the comments, and it ties back to something you were saying earlier in just now. So deliver this clarity here.
Sure.
The difference between self-preservation and selfishness.
I love it. It's just one simple difference. It's why you're doing it. It's really the purpose of how you're using that. I've been both. I actually practice both so I can see the difference. So what self-preservation does is it makes sure not to harm. It's not concerned with the harmful factor. The intent is that I need to eat and I'm going to feed myself or put my mask on before I help anybody else in the cabin. That's self-preservation. You're preserving your own life. You're not looking at taking from somebody else, and you're not looking for whatever other people are talking about. You're looking for really, truly making sure that you exist enough to help, to be of help, be of service. Whereas with selfishness, there's an intent that you are going to basically outdo those around you. And the selfishness, and you twist on that, is to say, you know what? I don't need them. They don't need me. Let me take care of myself because I want to, because I can. So it's a different type of mentality. Preservation means you have to do that to live. And selfishness means that you're okay. You're just choosing. It's a choice for you to do that. And preservation, you don't have a choice. You're really trying to live. And so I just think that I've done both. I've taken myself away on purpose. Like, man, y'all can't call me. Y'all can't do nothing. I'm by myself. I'm going to do this for me. And I never, ever win in those circumstances. It never has turned out good for me. But I've done both. And I can see the difference because I don't like to talk about something I haven't done. So I did it just to see. And I'm not comfortable with selfishness. So when I say you're selfish and I see selfish people and I talk to them, I talk to them for real because I did it. And I know that that doesn't feel good and that's not right. And there's a sense of loneliness and lack in that thing. And I know it's coming from a low vibration and a low self-esteem. And I know what's happening because I lived it and I did it. And I know that that's not correct behavior.
Wow. That one, like, hey, y'all hear me say all the time that self-preservation is not selfishness, but I don't think I ever broke it down to you guys like that. You have, once again, service to everybody else, the Wealth Hackathon coming up. Tell us about this.
Well, wealthhackathon.com is a platform. It's actually hosted by the boardofliteracy.org, our FinLit charity and foundation. And Wealth Hackathon is actually an opportunity to help you tack and hack into your wealth. So the one way that I can explain it is that basically it's access. It's an all access pass to your wealth when you're ready at your level. I don't job shame people. I don't wealth shame people. All I do is offer opportunities. When you're ready, join us. When you're not ready, you don't have to. That's a hack, right? And so Wealth Hackathon is our website where you can find out all of our events. Every 21st day of 2021, we are hosting a Grow Your Portfolio Wealth Hackathon. And that just means here's access to what we're invested in, not investing in. We're already in it. Do you want to join us? Because that's the problem. Send the elevator down. Stop hoarding information. If you have it, give it. It's that simple so you can get more of it. And so we're giving out that information every 21st of the month of 2021. And we did it in 2020. We did it every 20th day of the month for 2020. So you can go on down the line every year from now on. That's what we do. So that's what Wealth Hackathon is about. It's just a place for us to all join forces together. It's like a major mastermind opportunity. And we just share resources and we distribute. We're distributors and we distribute wealth. And that's the whole purpose of the platform.
Now, for those of y'all that don't know, Dr. O is a much better quality individual than myself for this reason. She won't do shaming. I don't job shame or anything like that. But what I do is I will action shame you. I will action shame the hell out of you.
Good. Yeah.
Because
you're exposing them. You got exposed.
Too often my phone rings with quick question. How do you do this? How do you do that? Where do you do this? Where do you do that? And the problem is this. You guys will not go where the information is. Here's an example. Wealth Hackathon. The people that are... First, go to the site and just see what is coming and what they're offering and understand this. She has this flow through cup and she pours it out in order to get more. and she doesn't shame you in the process. Reciprocity is great. The beautiful thing is that she doesn't look for it. She just say, "Oh, okay, this is who you are." Now, y'all know me. I'm going to action shame the hell out of you when I see you, doing the ball out with the bottles in the club or whatever, and then borrow money to replace a tire for your car. I'm going to talk about you. I'm going to action shame the hell out of you. But this is the thing we have to stop doing. As she said at the beginning, stop lying to yourself. Learn to value relationships, but be where the information. If you're ready, notice she started. Hey, if you're ready, if you're not, cool. But don't pretend to be ready. Stop lying to yourself. Just this morning, I don't even know what the post was that I did, but this morning I woke up to 3 calls about the best investing platforms. And if you follow me for real, I tell you all the time, hey, that's not my bag. I can't advise you on that. Number one, I might say that, and the insurance company call me like, hey, George, we don't cover you on this. You got to watch, so, but there's people that do this. And I will, oftentimes, depending on who you are, I'll point you in the right direction. But if I think that you need to take 2 laxatives and call me in the morning, I'm not going to just plug you to, people who I know are sincere in what they're doing and that genuinely give back. I'm not going to plug you into them if you're full of baloney and, stuff like that. So,
time wasters, yeah.
Yeah.
They're fluffineers. They're just time wasters. But one thing that I wanted to say is that I am the tough love millionaire now. I will get with you. You're going to be crying and all that stuff. And I could care less about your emotions. But that's for people who are on the inside. I don't deal with outsiders. I don't deal with, if you're going to stay on the outside and run your mouth outside that door, that's where you're going to be. But when you come in here, I am like you. I will expose, because exposure, sometimes the truth is the highest regard. Don't get it twisted. But sometimes the truth will step aside and let exposure take that platform. And you'd rather get to the truth than exposure, because when she comes, she's worse than karma, in my opinion. Because at least karma cares enough to even the balance. Exposure don't care about even and no balance. So I will expose you, but on the inside. So once you come in my platform, let me catch you doing some stuff you ain't got no business doing. Yeah, you'll be exposed and kicked out. But for those that don't even want to come in the door, I don't have any time for that. We don't have any time for that. But I get what you're saying on a holistic perspective. We need somebody calling that stuff out, because until it's called out, it's going to continue. So I love that you do that, and I support it. I'll get on there and go in with you if you want me to. I will not leave you by yourself, George.
You're serving the greater cause. Let me have my sport over here.
I can get petty too. Hey, I can get petty too. No.
Dr. O, it's been an absolute honor having you on. What do you want to leave everyone with?
Well, wealth is your birthright. Wealth is your silver right.
I almost forgot. You have an event you're speaking at coming up, I think this weekend, or
the Comeback Champion Summit. I'll be speaking on the summit is actually from the 16th through the 20th, if I'm not mistaken. And I'll be speaking. I just sent that information to my executive assistant. I hate that word. I'm sorry, executive administrator. But yeah, I'll be speaking on the 12th. I'm not the 12th. I'm sorry. I forget what date it is, but the Comeback Champion Summit, my information is going to be on their website, www.comebackchampionsummit.com. It's free, no cost. Don't worry about it. It's on us. And it's going to be a lot of mentors giving stuff back. Once you register, they'll have the schedule, and my slot will be in that schedule. So you're more than welcome to come. And I'll be speaking on the wealth game. You did not come to play. You came to win. And we're going to make sure that you do that.
I visited this site and I saw the list of speakers. And I was like, okay, basically this is everybody pretty much in Black America that's serving right now. I only think there was maybe 1, maybe 2 people that I wasn't already familiar with. Everybody else that was on there from Trevor Ox and the Happy I mean, everybody. I was like, wow, okay, pretty much this is the list of people I want to have on Boss Talk Radio in 2021.
Well, I definitely want to plug them in with you. They all need to be on here, and you need to be at the next Champion Summit. They do it often, and there also is an event that I would love for you to join us with. It's called Iconic, and it's the same people, and I want to submit you in for that. That's going to be a powerful summit. I think you have a message for the people. So I definitely want to help collaborate. I'm a producer at heart, so I would love to just send them over here.
Yeah, we didn't even get into all this other stuff that you do. Like the number of hats is ridiculous. If it was a wardrobe, it could be a hat store. Like,
but I will be speaking at that conference. I pulled it up, and it's good to do that. Never be embarrassed to get the right information before you sit out here and lie to yourself. So I'm not going to lie. So I will be speaking February the 16th, 2021 at 8:27 p.m. And that's going to be Eastern Standard Time. If I'm not mistaken. Say it again.
What was the website again? I want to put it up on the screen.
Oh, absolutely. So comebackchampionsummit.com. Comebackchampionsummit.com. Yep.
Okay.
So I'll be speaking at nighttime. So go ahead and log on at 7:00 for the wealth game. You did not come to play, you came to win. And that's going to be 7:00. Just be on there. It's going to be stuff going on all day. And you'll see me come on there. And this is going to be room number 3. This is your mindset mastery room, because I'm a mindset master.
And it all starts in the mind. You know, you guys hear me talk about having organization and being compliant and not falling into the traps of business, and instead do good business. But this is where the information is. Too often you guys are, hitting me up for information, and you think it's a quick question here and there, and sometimes it's like Batman pulling out a utility belt. These are the types of events that pull in all of the experts.
Everybody.
Yes, I can get you out of tax trouble. Yes, I can take care of your payroll and all of these other, operational types of things. But a lot of you are, regardless of where you are trying to get to a next level. Part of that is mindset. This is why you need to be at this type of an event, and the key word here, and y'all know I don't even believe in this, but because when I seen it, I was like, something wrong with my computer. It says free. Clearly, this is not something's wrong. I can't
free
believe
is not a price. I'm with George. Free is not a price. Okay, but that's why Trevor was brilliant enough to change it to no cost.
Yeah,
no cost.
Yeah, it's amazing. And hey, this is where you guys need to be. Comebackchampionsummit.com. And don't forget to visit wealthhackathon.com, because I'm going to tell you right now, you cannot follow. It's impossible to follow Dr. O and not get a feel-good thing going on inside and just get rejuvenated and want to make some moves and do some things. And oftentimes what I find is that with most people, the only thing standing between you and that next thing is not all of the excuses you said, or I think Dr. O said, it's not the lack of anything that you don't have, it's the not using what you do have. Acknowledging what you do have, and just start. Just start somewhere today. Like,
Right now.
You have resources.
Win is always now. Yeah, win is always right now. You should go right now. I like what you say too. Taxes, accounting, the things that George offers, you'd be crazy not to plug in with him, because that's how you free up your money to come over here with me. He's the one who frees up your money.
Yeah, we talked about that I think a couple of weeks ago on the tax tip, is that when it comes to taxes, our community is so reactive instead of proactive. Like, it's rare that us do tax planning with me. Fortunately, there's others that don't use this against me, and they spend the money like, hey, and these are people who have tax liabilities, and when it's done, they're like, hey, George, thank you. They write the check because they're like, oh yeah. It's perpetual.
You're saving us thousands, hundreds, millions in some cases. Without you, without professionals like yourself, without your company, there is absolutely no reason for you to get in investing. There's no reason for you to get in the wealth game at all. Don't even come over here. If you don't have life insurance and you don't have a tax plan, don't even come over here. What do you call that? That's a prerequisite. I was just about to say.
So basically, Dr. O is saying there's a prerequisite for you to come and see me. That's tax planning and life insurance. Let's get both of those things put together for you and put the plan in place. Because guess what else? Now, she talked about exposure, but what we didn't talk about, and I don't want to hold you too long, Dr. O, but what we didn't get into, you mentioned it once, and it's a prerequisite to coming to talk to George because we're going to do some exposure. I'm going to show you where the money is.
Where the money reside?
Prerequisite is emotional intelligence. You have to have it before you come to talk to George.
Leave your emotions at that door, at that house, or somewhere else. Don't do it. Yeah, emotional intelligence is high. And come in there with the truth. Come in there with everything, the negative, positive, all of that, and it'll be better for you. But yeah, emotional intelligence, George. Talk to me about that with you. Like, do you pride yourself in that?
Yes, because one of the things about me when it comes to that is being a person that was so observing for so long and watching actions of other people. I got to see many people suffer from regrets from having a reaction at a moment that they didn't allow the time to involve that emotional intelligence. And when I find myself in that place, my response is going to be to you, hey, I need a little bit of time to kind of process this and figure it out, because my tongue can be a weapon. So I'm careful with it. I'm really careful with it. So I'm like, if I just tear off, a lot of times people can't recover from that. So I make a point to like, okay, let me get in the emotionally intelligent space, process what's happening, and think about this in the grand scheme of things. Because if not, it's not a good look for anybody.
I'm with you. I love that's maturity. That's maturation at its finest. So.
Yes. Well, we will have you back on the show. What I want to do is we did Boss 2020 last year, and it was right before the world shut down. So we haven't gotten the complete thing together for 2021 yet, because we're trying to figure out the virtual space versus physical. So you're definitely one of the people we want to tap for Boss 2021. To really bring the mindset part to that game. So we're definitely going to have you back for that. Once again, everybody, go and visit the Wealth Hackathon. Dr. O, thank you again for giving of your time and giving us those intrinsic wealth principles that you put together so eloquently, because I would mentally abuse people.
Hey, that's your way. Tag team. Good cop, bad cop.
This has been Boss Talk Radio. We will see you guys on Monday for Boss Motivation. Peace.
This is Dr. Tamia Guest with Rejuvenating Chiropractic.
This is Nara Reed with Modified Nutrition Health Coach.
This is Karen Marcel with June Street Barbershop.
This is Tiffany Marcel with Marcel Luxury Realty, and you're listening to Boss Talk Radio.